Hey adventurers, happy Friday. It's Lindsay Ballet with She Works Abroad, and today I want to talk about two things. One regarding She Works Abroad and one regarding me. So the first one is I was talking to someone this week in a breakthrough call, and she was telling me all about how her dream is to be living abroad. She really wants to go back to Europe. She has studied abroad in Europe before. She did part of her collegiate studies in Europe as well. And now, a couple years later, she really wants to go back. And I was like, awesome. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your strategy, what you're trying to do, how are you making it happen. And then about halfway through the call, when I was talking to her about applying for positions, I asked, tell me like exactly what you're doing, and let's figure out why you're not getting interviews. And then she started telling me all about how she was also applying for jobs in Chicago. Now, this lovely lady lives in New York City. So I was saying, you're also applying for jobs in Chicago. Tell me why. Why are you applying for jobs in Chicago? Because you just got done telling me all about how your dream is to go back to Europe and to live in Europe. So what gives? And she was saying, well, if it doesn't work, I want a plan B, and that plan B is Chicago. And so, I'm really thinking about maybe if I do a domestic move, if I can't get my international move right now, maybe the timing's just not right, etc. And I was basically like, okay, let me tell you this. You are signaling to the universe and to employers that you are totally fine moving and working in Chicago. And guess what is easier to find? A job in England or a job in Chicago as an American? A job in Chicago. Meaning that is going to come to you faster and easier than applying for a job abroad, where you have to jump a visa hurdle, you have to do a translation of your skills and how they're international, right? So you're putting yourself in a pretty difficult position where you're going to have to decide, do you really want to move to Chicago or do you really want to go abroad? Which one is more important to you? And I have seen this time and time again. People apply for jobs internationally, they're going after it, but at the same time, they're also going after other domestic opportunities in different cities. And what I've seen is they take those jobs in other domestic cities, and guess what? 6 months later, after the city's not that new, after they've gone through the transition and all of the like the fun stuff about moving and, oh, it's so exciting and there's all this new action and activity and people, and they say, Lindsay, I still want to move abroad. I'm like, heck yeah, you still want to move abroad. That was never a dream that was going away. What you've done now is you've delayed it a little bit further. You've lost another 6 months. And not only that, maybe you took another position or you moved your entire life across the country, and now you're thinking again about moving your entire life internationally. And I just think that if your dream, if your goal is to go abroad, then entertaining domestic opportunities as a plan B is a dangerous idea. It's a dangerous idea. And you will do the domestic bounce, meaning you will go from one city to the next city to the next city, and then just keep realizing, okay, what I really want is to get abroad. And if that's what you really want, then that's what we should really focus on, because where your focus goes, your energy flows, right? So if you're focusing on two different things, domestic job, international job, don't be surprised if you get a domestic job. I have had to say no to, when I was applying abroad, to go abroad the very first time, I had to say no to 3 domestic jobs before I got 1 international position. And I made this mistake of applying and putting myself in like precarious positions where I was like, do I take this job in New York or do I not take this job in New York? I really don't want to be in New York, but it's a good job and there's a good salary. I didn't have to be doing that. I knew I wanted to go abroad. Why was I thinking that taking a job in New York was going to make me happy? It was going to make me want to go abroad even more. So sometimes you have to say no in order to say yes. Okay, so that's number 1. The second personal update I want to give you is, if you have been part of this group for the past 9 months or so, you may have seen that I have been growing a second human along with talking to you about She Works Abroad. So yes, at this point I am 9 months pregnant. I'm on the countdown, about 20 days away from meeting the newest She Works Abroad traveler and adventure. Super excited, but that also means that I can only do so many breakthrough sessions before the little one comes and joins this amazing group. So if you want to talk with me personally about where you are in terms of making your international dreams happen and where you're struggling, where you're doing well, where you're stuck, etc., you have about 10 days to 2 weeks to book a breakthrough session before I take a hiatus from breakthrough sessions, okay? I've got to give myself a little bit of time post-baby before I can go back and start helping people again solve and create the global career of their dreams. So this is your warning for this group because you guys have been with me for a while and most of you have been in here for a while as well. I want to serve you. So you have about the next 10 days to get on my calendar, and you can do that by booking with the link below, or as well it's sheworksabroad.com/breakthrough. So I'll put that link in there as well. But now you guys know the cat's out of the bag. So you have 2 weeks and then we'll help you along your way in getting your international career plans up and going. Okay, all right, bye everyone, happy Friday.